Hello everyone, and welcome to this training on 4 secret tools. Just kidding, they're not secret, they're just awesome tools to help you really get to your goals. I am Christy Joe, Mind and Body Strategist. This was originally supposed to be broadcast on Facebook Live, but Facebook Live has banned me from doing videos due to some silly things. They just don't like what I teach and help people change their lives, I guess. So, all right, let's jump into the training. But before we do that, let me give you some context. So what I do and what I've done for the past 5 years is I help people change their lives. I get inside people's minds and their hearts to help them figure out what they actually want and then how to architect a plan to get there and then keep themselves accountable so they can actually get results. So the 4 things I'm going to share with you guys today, both on this video as well as Instagram. Hi everybody who is joining. I am going to give you these 4 tips. Now, if you are serious about getting past some hurdles that you might be experiencing, whether it's in business, whether it's in your schooling, whether it's in hobbies, relationships, finances, business, whatever it be, you will want to take notes because these are principles that I have personally applied for the past 5 years, transformed my life emotionally, physically, financially, businessly, totally word. And I've now coached over 2,000 people to changes in their lives as well. I am now able to coach people. I do mindset work, I do nutrition work, I do fitness work, and I do business work. And it's really a joy to be able to help people figure out that they have the answers. Did you guys know that? Each of you has the answers for whatever you need to make some real progress in your life. But you need to learn some tools on how to plow through that resistance that comes, that's inevitable whenever you set a goal. Now, if you have never set goals, we need to go into a more of an imaginary, like creative experience where you believe anything is possible because you guys, it is. And the only thing keeping you from believing that is yourself. So assuming there are no limits on what you can achieve and you really want something, we're going to pull out the doubts and the limitations and we're going to say you can get there if you are wise and you are strategic, and it might not be overnight. The things I've wanted in life have taken years, but you have a system. So let's go into them. First and foremost, I've written them here on my handy dandy whiteboard, which on Instagram, I think on all the devices everyone's viewing me on, it's all backwards. So you don't get to see it, but you get to see my prompter. So I keep myself on track. So number 1. Now, all of my clients and many of my clients are going to be watching this. So for you guys, this is a good reminder. If you've gotten off track, you need to get yourself back on again. So number 1 is you need to write down your daily habit that you are going to apply each week. So that requires us to do a little bit of work. Let's use an example of, I want to lose 2 to 3 pounds this week. Fantastic. Well, you need to worry about the behavior and then those results will come. So what kind of behavior would be needed in order to make that happen? Well, we probably should be fueling our body with protein and keeping our blood sugar stable. We should be having vegetables to help us feel fuller. We should be working out. We should be drinking our water. We should be giving our body good fats, again, more stable energy. And we should be limiting the carbohydrates coming in our body, or really moderating those and being very wise about our portions. So, that's a lot of things I just went through, but let's just say, what's the biggest thing you could focus on? Let's say that you come up with, I really just need to stop eating that cookie at 3 p.m. Let's replace it with a protein shake and 12 almonds and a half a cucumber. Fantastic. So what gets written down on your weekly goal is, I will eat, instead of my normal afternoon meal, I will have a protein shake and 12 almonds and a half a cucumber at 3 p.m. this week. You write that down for the nutrition goal of the week. See how you're focusing on the behavior, not the end result. If you're constantly thinking, I have to lose weight, I have to lose weight, I have to lose weight, you're not giving your brain a task. And the most important thing you can do in any goal is to give your brain a task. Your brain loves to be told what to do, and it loves to be micromanaged. So you sit down with yourself every Sunday. I like to use 4 categories. For business people, I enter a 5th category. So nutrition is 1, fitness is the next, mindset and that's kind of a hard one for people, especially if they're newer to the mindset and self-development game. And then spiritual, if you're in business and you're working on business or finances or relationships, that fifth one's kind of a whatever you need it to be, whatever you're kind of working on. So you sit down, you say, what will I specifically do in that area that will help me overcome the greatest hurdle that's holding me back? When you write down those goals, you're going to be able to follow through. Where should you write down those goals? I love dry erase markers on your bathroom mirror. Write them on your bathroom mirror. I love 3x5 cards. Put it on the dashboard of your car. Put it on your fridge. Put it in your wallet. Where are you going to see it constantly? There's something in your brain called the prefrontal cortex, and that is anything that you put in front of yourself and think about and focus on, that's in your prefrontal cortex. So you have to be repeatedly bringing it to the front of your mindset. Otherwise, if you've ever forgotten about a goal you set, this is why. That's why you forgot about it, because you didn't keep it in the forefront of your mind. You didn't bring it into the prefrontal cortex. You did not utilize strategies to help remind you. Life happens. You're going to get busy. Your brain is going to go tick, 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 tick. So what are you doing to bring that behavior thing that you need to do to get yourself compliant to the end goal? What do you need to do? You need to write it down. So write down your daily habit goal every Sunday. I have an alarm in my phone. It goes off 9 p.m. every Sunday night. It's gone off for multiple years now, and it keeps me on track. It keeps me accountable and moving forward. Tip number 2 for actually reaching your goals: be accountable with triumphs and obstacles as well as emotions. So when I coach my clients, every weekend they submit a digital accountability report. And they just do it every week. It's a habit. It comes into my email. I review it. And then the next day I send them an audio follow-up talking about the different components that they talked through or wrote through. So some of the key parts of this form include: what was the greatest triumph of last week? What was the greatest obstacle of last week? And what was the predominant emotion? What are you fixating on? How are you managing your emotions? So here's what I would like to suggest for you guys. You can make your own form using Google Forms online. And this is really cool. I submit my own accountability form because the power of accountability is so huge. Just the other day, I was at lunch with a friend, and she's like, you know what? I turned down a cookie because I knew I'd be meeting with you in 3 hours for lunch. And I was like, there you go. That's a prime example. We got a low battery. Okay. So accountability is really important for all of us. We're human. We're going to be fallible. We're going to be weak. So that's something that helps keep us going. You cannot rely upon willpower alone. So set yourself up with either a Google form, or when you journal, there are some key questions that you answer every single week. What was your biggest success? Obviously in the realms of your goals, right, that you're working on. Number 2, what was your biggest obstacle? What's holding you back? Until you identify your obstacles, you don't have enough data or information to set a goal to help you overcome it for the next week. So remember, tool number 1 was writing down that very clear behavioral goal. Here's the trick. That goal is always to help you overcome the biggest obstacle of the previous week. It's really cool. It allows you to go like this. Dong, da-da-dong, da-da-dong. Does that make sense? No one goes like this. Nobody. And if you think they are, they're lying. Everybody goes forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, which brings us to tip number 3, which is embrace falling down. Embrace the fact that you're going to hit some weak points. You're going to lose steam. You're going to lose motivation. You're going to wake up one day and be like, why am I doing this to myself? This is making life really hard for me. And it is those moments that you have to get right back up. And you cannot dwell in those negative thoughts. You cannot dwell when you fall down. You brush off your knees. You get back up. You don't compare to anyone else around you. It is not a race. It is you versus you. And any great triumph has come from struggle. Every story you guys have ever heard, whether it was, somebody who created a new company, whether it was Thomas Edison and the light bulb, whether it was Starbucks. I mean, he was turned down how many number of times before he finally was given the investment? I think about how many times I failed in my nutrition and fitness efforts until I finally succeeded. And I finally had the tools I needed to break through those plateaus. Very, very powerful. So when you learn that failure and falling down is part of the game, you have a different mindset. It's not so much that, oh, you fell down. You planned for that to happen, but you pivot. You don't stay down. You go doom, doom. You bounce in and out of failure to the next thing. You re-strategize. You keep going. You think critically. You say, wow, that didn't work. We have to really figure out a new way of doing it. You don't do the same thing over and over again. That's what is it? Stupidity. I think that's the definition of stupidity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. You have to change the variables. So embrace falling down. It's part of the game. You need it in order to progress, but don't go back and do the same thing and think you're going to have a different outcome. You need to tweak, you need to refine, you need to change, you need to optimize. Number 4, use your calendar and your alarms to remind and prioritize you. So something amazing. I love Google Calendar, even though I have an iPhone. I actually use the downloadable Google Calendar app because it syncs between all of my different work calendars. I know the iPhone one does too, but I just like it way better. And then I set up on really important things that matter to me, especially if it's a behavioral change, I will set up a notification to come to my email maybe 1 hour before, especially if I'm working and I'm like getting bogged down by the to-dos. I know that Google Calendar used to send text message alerts. I'm not sure, but check into it if you use Google Calendar. It's a hard word to say when you have dry mouth. Google Calendar. And it's pretty cool because here's the thing. Again, your life is going to get busy. So how are you scheduling in those appointments? Maybe you want to write a book, schedule in your writing time. Maybe you want to start working out and training your body, schedule it in like an appointment. Maybe you want to start working on your relationship and loving your significant other and making them feel appreciated. Schedule it in. If it is not scheduled in, and I'm going to tell you, don't worry about the psychological impacts of, oh, you had to schedule me in. They'll get over it. You made time for them, right? That's my feeling. All the therapists out there are like, Anyway, I'm just teaching you optimization. You take the principle and do with it what you like. But you have to remember your brain is, you have to not overestimate it. Give yourself small tasks. Schedule things in. Schedule it in. It's like the Sunday school lesson that I feel like everybody got when they were a little kid, but we forget it. If you really want something to happen, it's like trying to fit in rocks and sand into a mason jar. You can't put the sand in first. You can't put in all the little things, and you can't put in all the fun things you wanted to do. And, you have to put in the priorities first. And those get scheduled into your calendar first. You put the rocks in, the most important things that are going to get you to that goal, and then you pour the sand over the top, and it fills in the space around the priorities. That is the only way we make effective use of our time and actually make progress, noticeable progress, which progress is what brings us joy. Progress is what brings us a feeling of confidence in life, that we are moving, that we have meaning. And those are the very antithesis emotions of depression. Now that's doing what we can do of our own accord to bring our best selves to the table, negating any chemical imbalances, right? That's a different exception here. I'm talking, what can you as an individual do to bring your best self to the table? You can write down your daily habit goals every Sunday. And if you don't have something, an idea or a goal or something to push yourself to, we probably need to talk, because I could come up with a million things to push you. And you'll be like, oh, I don't know. Talk to friends, talk to people who know you. Get their take on, where do you see me going? How could I progress as a person? Which category of life do you think I could progress in, or I could push past mediocrity and become something great in? You each deserve to be great in something. And don't let the little lies telling you that it's okay to be average, penetrate your mind. Because if you're average, then you're not contributing in your own unique way. And my feeling here at Power Your Life today is, as we each cultivate our own unique gifts, we become a person of more value, more love, and more service. Therein is more meaning to life. Therein is more compassion, more empathy, more depth of love, and more personal development. The only way to really move forward in life is by continuing to look inside ourselves and get that personal development, but allowing it to translate into what we do for other people. And everyone's story of growth and progress is going to look different. So what will your story be? What goal will you set and work to reach? My feeling is the sky is the limit. When you want something, you can get there. And I don't care how many times you have said, I set the goal, but I just didn't get there. I'm telling you right now, if you have a goal, you can get there. Apply these 4 tools and you will be on your way. Number 1, write down your daily habit goals every Sunday. Number 2, be accountable with triumphs and obstacles as well as emotions, and get clear on what you're experiencing emotionally and psychologically so that you can overcome any of those hurdles that are reappearing as triggers. Number 3, embrace falling down and commit to pivot from failures or setbacks. Number 4, use your calendar and alarms to schedule the important priorities in your life. I love teaching these principles. I love helping people like you optimize the things that you're doing in your life. We're all in the trenches. We're all figuring it out. And I've been really, really lucky to have been mentored by some incredible people and some incredible parents my whole life, and to have had to go through some really, really difficult times myself through all of my years of disordered eating, disordered thinking, feeling like a failure, depression, wondering if I was good enough for anything. I had to battle through those years, and I had to figure out systems for me to function at my best. Does that mean I'm perfect? Heavens no. No, and I still fall down, but I embrace the fall down and I pivot from them. I bring it back to the mindset tools, say, how can we learn from this? How do we keep moving forward? That's what we all have to do. So I encourage you, if you are either in St. George, Utah, or you are in Salt Lake, Utah, or are willing to drive to either of those locations, I want you to come to one or both of these events. I'm speaking July 15th, 2017, at an event in St. George. It's put on by Rafael Capitan, and he is incredible. He was on the Power Your Life Today podcast, sharing his own story of surviving a suicide attempt over 10 years ago, becoming the most influential, powerful speaker, motivational person. And it's wonderful. I'm so honored that I'll be able to speak at this event with multiple presenters and share tools at that event, particularly around mindset and powering our mind in order to power our bodies and that relationship, and how we move into making those changes, as well as some very unique specific takeaways. There are only a few tickets left, so you can go learn more at ichoosetogrowcom, or it's ichoosetogroweventbrite.com. That's where the event tickets are. The second event is going to be in August. I can't remember the date. It's on a Saturday, but go check it out. It's on Facebook. Go look at the event. It's called So You Don't Fit the Mold. Now, this event is only for women. It is geared towards the religion of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, though we welcome anybody of faith-oriented living. And the topic I will be sharing is on mental discipline tools to blast through the feelings of not being enough, and how to find confidence and your own voice in a world that is very confusing. And so it's going to be very, very specific. It's not just going to be a motivational rah-rah. It's going to be very direct takeaways that I will want every woman there to walk away with a plan of action, and I want to hear the stories come in a week or 2 or 3 weeks later. So tickets are on sale. If you get tickets before July 5th, it's buy one, get one free. So find the event on Facebook, So You Don't Fit the Mold. Here's the thing, none of us fit the mold. There is no mold. So I don't fit the mold. I broke the mold. I thought the mold was stupid. I thought there was a mold. I did. I thought there was a mold till I was 26 and I figured some things out. And it's been beautiful ever since. Have you figured this out yet? Maybe you have. Maybe you need reassurance that it's okay to not fit the mold and how to find your unique voice in this world that maybe is you feel you're internalizing the feeling that you do need to be a certain way, act a certain way, look a certain way. Let's each find our own voice. Let's each find that power from within to become and live and enjoy our lives. That's all any of this is about, is improving the quality of our lives. I hope this has been helpful. I love sharing with each of you. I love you. I want the best for you, and I'm cheering you on. So power your life today.